Welcome to the Movie Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And
I'm Jeff.
He's back.
Yay.
Yes.
I don't have to worry about trying to figure out what direction. I just got to point that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere.
Welcome back, Jeff. How you been?
Good. I'm on the bottom as usual, where I prefer.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, you're a power bottom though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Depends on what you eat.
That's what I read on the stall.
Yeah. Yeah. If you look closer, there's a number there too, but I wouldn't recommend calling it. But yeah, no, good to be back. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Oh man, I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too. And this just took. It was so hard to get this to happen.
Yep. But it happened. It's finally here.
And before we get right into it, I actually have a gift for Jason.
What?
If you reach just around the corner on the bookshelf, on top of the Movie Madhouse book, you'll see a DVD there.
On top of the
Down,
2 minutes in, there's already a reach around.
right?
I came to the right show.
That's the one. Look at that.
Jason X.
God!
And it's signed.
Oh,
Why, Tony
Jason
Todd?
X.
It
Classic.
says, Jason, thanks for your support, Tony Todd.
You son of a bitch! Fucking knows.
Did he remembered?
He did not remember, did he?
Okay, that's my signature. I just saw the movie. And
Okay.
What's
I
the
had to
backstory?
do that.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Just to fill you in, Jeff,
Oh,
we met Tony Todd way back. And Jason walks up. He's like, oh, love you, Tony. You're awesome. Loved you in Jason X. And Tony's like, he's signing. He just rolled with it. He kept going. And then later on, we're sitting there together. He goes, wait, Tony Todd wasn't in Jason X.
It's all played.
So, it comes up every once in a while.
yeah. Everyone's a little bit racist, as we learned from Avenue Q.
No, that's me signing that only because I found the movie.
Okay.
I would try that with Tony. He'd go, what are you talking about? Why am I signing a Jason X
Yeah,
movie?
You just say, trust me, Tony, it will make my friend's day.
Come on.
There's a
You know
story,
we
I
sign
promise.
weirder things, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But yeah, no, he was a blast that day. And it was
Yeah.
actually funny because we went up to him and go, we're here not only to get your information about possible appearance, but we wanted to see if you would mind signing an autograph picture for our charity auction for CKX. And he goes, oh, sure, no problem. That was actually the picture he was signing while Jason was talking to him. But we're talking. And he goes, do you have many of these? And it's like, oh, we do. We got this person. We have James Earl Jones. Really? How many did James send you? And he goes, oh, he sent me two. One is him as Vader and one of him. He goes, really? He reaches over, he grabs another one, he signs it. He goes, there. Now I'm the same as James.
I mean, if there was somebody you'd want to mash, James Earl Jones is a good candidate.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now we can get to our topic.
You son of a bitch.
Our topic today
I still question it.
is
I'm going to have it
Highlander.
authenticated,
I would. So I don't know if that was legitimately mine or not. I can't remember now. Yes, we are here to talk about the Highlander. And this is cool because, Jeff, this is a fresh watch for you, isn't it?
Yep. Watched it last night.
For the
Fresh.
first time?
24 hours. Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
For the first time?
This is why I've really been waiting.
Well, I
to
thought
hear this.
he
I was a
suggested
Highlander
it was
virgin until
his
last night.
favorite movie or something.
No, he was, when we were talking about it, he goes, this sounds great. I got to watch it. It's like, okay, this is one we got to bring him back for.
Oh,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then.
So
And it's fresh. I wrote notes.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
then let's start with just cursory. What was your overall thoughts of the movie?
Okay. Well, I can't decide if I think the movie was ridiculously awesome or awesomely ridiculous.
I
Because-
agree with the ridiculous part.
Yeah. Because I'm watching, I'm like, man, this is, it's cool. It's got, old battles and stuff and, Scotland and whatnot. But then it's like, this is kind of crazy and a little bit corny, but I get it. I'm also trying to put myself in the mind of when it came out in the
Yeah.
1980s. So would have been a totally different mindset back then. And I could see how it would have been awesome. And I know if I would have watched it when I was a kid, it would have been like one of those movies that I would swear by growing up.
Well,
But I'm
this is-
watching
And it
guys
was
like-
for me.
Yeah, it makes sense.
and it's like the ultimate 80s movie because Queen does the entire soundtrack.
Yes.
And what's
Yeah.
crazy is I didn't realize how many quotes I've seen across the year and heard across the years that are from that movie. I finally watched them like, oh, that makes sense now. I get it. So
Yep. And same at the very end too, that Silver Cup billboard.
yep.
You know, that was the first big movie it was in, and then boom, boom, boom. Even the
Now it's in
Simpsons, I
everything, yeah.
think, brought it up.
I think so. Yeah.
And then Sean Connery, can't go wrong with Sean Connery. Even Christopher Lambert, I thought he was good. I was trying to like, man, what is that accent? But then I went and read that he studied with a dialect coach and they gave him like his own kind of accent, so it didn't really fit in any,
He was
Yeah.
learning English as he was doing the movie.
Yeah.
which is also crazy.
When he was hired, he didn't know English, and I'm thinking, why would you hire?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he did it. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
What he gave us is iconic, you know. But when you say weird, you're not wrong. Okay, I fully acknowledge that, especially when you consider Sean Connery's character himself.
He's Egyptian.
Yes,
Yeah.
with
Right.
a Scottish accent.
Yeah. And then Clancy Brown, he just chews up every scene. He's,
Oh.
he's great, man.
oh man, even you have to admit Clancy Brown was amazing in that film.
Well,
What the, you
Well,
froze. What?
well, he's cool in the film. I don't know why he inexplicably shaves his head and puts safety pins all around his neck for whatever
That's
reason.
one of my
Yeah.
notes.
He's in disguise.
That was one of my notes. I love. I was like, I'm in disguise. I'm like, are those,
But
those
it's the hotel room. The hotel room where he's putting together his sword and doing the whole like rolling it around his arms. That was a pretty good demo.
Yeah,
okay? I got a question about that scene.
yeah.
Because I have a note about that one too. When he's making the sword, I'm like, yeah, this is a cool scene, but like, if I have to construct my sword, does that mess up the structural integrity of it? But then I was like, oh, I'm analyzing this movie too much. I just got to enjoy it.
Oh,
That's my
Dude,
problem.
I was doing the same thing because
Mhm.
literally he takes a blade and snaps it in two pieces. So A, he's holding the edges,
Yeah.
and B, how does it hold together?
A guy like him isn't going to care about
Oh.
details like that.
And every time they have a sword hit, sparks fly. Like every sword has an explosion. Every
It's
sword.
a kind of magic.
Yep.
Exactly. Because now I know we're not supposed to deviate, but
We're
as
gonna
we learned
deviate.
from the TV show,
Yeah.
a lot of them also have pocket dimensions where their sword
Oh,
comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. My
One scene in
Oh, they
particular,
Harry
one I
Potter-
remember-
I want to steal that.
Just one
Oh,
scene.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
One scene, a dude in a tracksuit, an Adidas tracksuit, and he's got a sword.
Oh no, even better than that, because my friend Bevan called it the pan-dimensional cloak. But there was an episode of the TV show where one of the main antagonist was played by Sheena Easton.
What?
Was it?
Hmm.
Yeah. No,
Really?
sorry, not Sheena Easton. Kylie Minogue
Okay.
playing one of the female Highlanders that was coming after Duncan, even though they were a fling or whatever. She was wearing a leather vest and she pulled out a sword from behind her.
Well, as we learned from Wonder Woman in whichever Batman v Superman or whatever, she could hide the sword
Oh,
like right through
Those butt cheeks hold on really
exactly. So
Never
So
wanted
it-
to
it
be a
is
sword
possible.
before.
good. I just got called out for being mean.
No, that man, that's like
Oh,
the type of shit we do in our show, like every 5 minutes, if that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to steal that, Rob.
Oh,
Because
you
I
got
can
it.
totally make that a button on our show. Like no one
You can have this one too.
Okay, you give me an idea. This makes me want to get one of what's his name from Jurassic Park, where he's like, Dodson, we've got
Oh,
Dodson.
yeah.
Nobody cares. Nobody
What's his
cares.
name? Wayne Knight.
yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
Get that one in there.
To build on what Jeff said about the ridiculous parts and to also deviate just from this movie, you go back and watch this one after you've seen both TV shows, all the subsequent movies, and like, okay, what are the basic rules of all the Highlander? Like, okay, well, they're getting together for the gathering when there's only a few of them left. Yeah, that's repeated. They're going for the prize. There can be only one. That's repeated. Apparently, being able to sense the heartbeat of a stag and from the looks of it, get turned on and then run down the beach and jump off into the cliff, calling it the quickening.
Sean was loving that stag.
He certainly looked like he was. But the other part where they can't
Sean
they're
Connery.
immortal. So like they get shot or they get run over and then they wake up in the morgue later on. Well, in this one, the original, they can't die, period. So he pushes him into the water. He's under the water. He's like literally breathing the water in. I can't die. No. You're supposed to die and then come back.
This is the OG. This is what you go. They are wrong. That is why.
And they
can
technically
be
deviated
only
from
one.
but oh man.
Yes. See, no, I know the others exist, but just the premise of this script does not lend itself to a sequel, let alone a series.
Well, I'm not gonna lie.
Because I think this is the only one that mentions what actually happens when you win the prize.
Yeah.
And it's like
He brings peace to the world,
well,
basically.
he can hear everyone's
You can
thoughts.
read minds or something.
Yeah, exactly. So
I thought about
and he
watching
becomes a
the
normal
sequel,
human.
but I saw it had like a 4.2 on IMDb. I was like, ugh. Like, is it one of those ones you should
Highlander?
watch?
No.
Highlander 2.
dude, don't even.
Yeah,
Not even worth watching for fun, for shits and
Unless-
giggles.
no.
Unless
Ooh,
you
that
find
bad.
the Renegade version, which apparently is a lot better. I have not seen it.
Not by much.
Put it this way. Sean Connery's in the second one.
Yep, even though he died.
Yeah. Right? Oops. Then also they're aliens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pass.
They're aliens that are sent to Earth as like a prison.
And then also exactly. And then also apparently this game can reset anytime it wants. Well, they'll just send more people.
Oh,
And it's like game on again.
As
How
a plus,
contrived.
as a plus, you have Michael Ironside going over the top in the most wonderful way.
Yeah. Well, Michael
like Michael Ironside.
like Sean Connery eats up scene like Clancy Brown. He eats up the scenery. I love
Yes.
Michael Ironside too.
Yeah.
But
I'm gaining a little more sympathy for Highlander 2 just after revisiting this one.
Oh my! Why does that not surprise me?
Maybe I'll get really sloppy one night and give Highlander 2 a watch.
Oh, dude! Oh, you're gonna regret it in the morning, man.
yeah.
You're gonna be chewing your arm off to get away from that one in the morning.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No.
I do not recommend.
I won't even watch it on a dare.
So one of the things that too I loved in the movie is I'm not sure if you guys noticed it, but the stare that McLeod gives everyone.
Yes.
He always like looks at people and has this stare. It's like, I don't know if that's intimidating or silly. I can't decide. That's almost
It
like the
is a
whole
little
movie.
Well, he's nearly blind.
It seems that way.
He's
Like,
had
in real
very
life.
poor vision.
Ooh.
Well, I think you're probably talking about the beginning too, in the police station when he just kept staring at that one cop. Yep.
Hmm.
It's a little unsettling.
But just him in the first time you see him in the stadium,
Yeah.
Yeah.
featuring the fabulous Freebirds,
Yes.
and I can't remember who the others are.
The Tonga, the Samoans.
The Samoans.
Yep.
Classic.
Yep.
But that even just the look on his face when the camera comes around to him.
So which one did you watch, Jeff? The theatrical release or the director's cut?
Whichever one was on Amazon Prime
Let
Video.
me ask you one question. Was there a scene in World War II?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you watched the
In
director's
fact,
The version I watched about a month ago.
Is that the correct version to watch?
That's the director's cut. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it's got a little bit more the stuff with his assistant.
Yes. So that's got one of two of my favorite lines from the whole movie. I wrote them down. I
Oh.
love the part where the Nazi goes to kill him and he's like, whatever you say, Jack, you're the master race. He kills
Yeah.
him. Like, that was good. And then my other favorite line in the movie is the first duel in the parking lot. And he kills the guy and chops his head off. And then the cops come later on, and the one cop's like, yeah, this one comes fully unassembled. I'm like, that's a funny line. There's little gems in there I thought that were worthy of writing down. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then Clancy Brown has the best one too in the church when he's leaving. That gets said. Now it's even in the beginning of
Oh,
a Def Leppard
the
song.
better.
song lyric.
Yeah.
better to fade away than to burn out.
Yep.
I just like his quote that's in I think the song "Give Me the Prize," or it's just like, and they play the news broadcast. Well, ahead with at this time has no name. He's just like, I know his name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, he's putting the cassette in the car recorder or whatever.
that's 80s, right?
Oh yeah,
But it was to me, even the opening does it for me, because it has the words up on the screen. Then Sean Connery reads them. You
from
never,
the dawn of time we've been among you.
yeah,
Yep.
you didn't know it until now. And then boom, Queen kicks in, and then it cuts right to the wrestling. You see the Fabulous Freebirds come out, and I love the mixing between the wrestling, him in the stands, and then how it cuts to the Highlands way back in the day, way back in the day.
Mhm.
Like to me,
It's a really, really neat transition.
Yep, absolutely.
and to me, it was. Oh, go ahead.
There was another one, another really good transition. I remember. I forget the beginning part, but it's in the modern time and it shows them underwater or something, and then the surface from the water and they're back in the Highlands.
He's sharpening his blade in his circle room, and he looks over at the fish tank. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, I was like, that's for the 80s. That's pretty good. So
yep.
there's a
Because
couple-
that one blended nicely.
Yep.
The only other one that was good is at the arena when he pans up, and then it goes like into a brace or something, and then it comes up on the side of a wall back in the Highlands.
Yeah, it's clever.
Mhm.
Clever stuff.
But then, of course, the 80s, crayon special effects at the end.
Yeah.
yeah, there was a couple shots too. I don't know if it was the version I watched or I was like, man, there's a lot of white noise there. Like you can see.
No,
like,
it was the same one that I watched recently. That's just the effects of the day.
Yep.
I kind of with our new topic that we're going to be doing next week, looking at these older flicks, I'm starting to take them as period pieces.
That's a good way to look at it. Yep.
It really
Kind of-
depends on the movie you watch. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I want to consider them period pieces at this point.
Well, if you consider a period piece something you watch and you know exactly when it was released,
Yes.
that would be a period piece.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And this one you definitely can. It's
It
like
just-
watching Friday the 13th.
It's crazy to me, and you can really notice it in sound design how much of a difference there is between 80s and 90s. Like even just a couple years, like take Jurassic Park. To me, that movie came in 93, and the sound and visuals are like, it seems like decades apart from, say, Highlander, which is only a 6-year difference. It's crazy to me.
But see, that's
Quality.
a bad example, I think, because you're dealing with ILM.
That's
And
a fair point.
There are people making movies, and then there's ILM, who's always right here,
They're a step
it
above.
seems.
Yeah.
Because look at 77 with Star Wars. They were up here when
That's
everybody
true.
else was
Yep.
making models with strings. These guys were blowing the doors. So I do know what you mean, though.
You're saying like the studio behind the production plays a huge part in that.
Oh,
essentially.
yeah. ILM was built on the THX stuff, which was all about the sound.
Yep.
So
Well, those are good points. I will say.
Lucas is a perfectionist. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Especially with dialogue. Mm.
There is not a wasted set of dialogue in it.
I just think I don't want to wish away my feelings. I wish I could just wish them away.
I hate sand. It gets everywhere. Anyway, yes. But yeah, I do know what you mean, though. A lot of 80 movies, you can tell they're stereo as opposed to like 5.1 and
Yep.
things like that. So, but that's the appeal, I think, sometimes.
And
Oh, yeah.
my problem is I'm too analytical sometimes when I watch stuff.
Well, no, you just know what you like.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good way to
Right?
put it.
But I liken it to I go to screenings at the Highland Cinema in London to see 35 millimeter prints. So you're getting the crackly poppily, and so it's the same effect, honestly.
But still. And then now let's go to you then too. What did you think about the overall story for Highlander?
I thought it was very original, and I'll give them props for making something that was original, and they took some chances, which is what they did a lot in the 80s. Thought it was a really cool concept. There's a couple things like you mentioned, the Sean Connery being Egyptian, that was a little weird. And then there was there's a couple things I'll mention here, like when they're doing the sword fight in the keep, Kurgan and Ramirez or whatever, and they hit the wall, the sword's making the whole keep fall down and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of things like that I was like, it kind of took me out. I get that it's part of their world. But
No, the effect really does look kind of
That's
cheap.
80s studio filming right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the Sean Connery's character saying he's Egyptian is sort of like an inside joke on they originally cast someone else or for something, because like say Shawshank Redemption, they ask like Morgan Freeman why they call him Red. He's like, maybe it's because I'm Irish, because the original character of Red was a white Irish guy in the original short story.
Harrison Ford was originally going to play Red in Shawshank too. I read that.
Oh, interesting.
I think you're onto something. I also think it might be, it's just a little Sean Connery's character making a little joke, because later on in the movie he's like, I'm 2,000 years old basically. So it's almost like just him maybe being silly a little bit.
Well, and he doesn't just stick to Egyptian too, because about halfway through, before he meets Kurgan, he goes, I can't even remember what it came up in, but he's going Pendejo. It's like, dude, that's not Egyptian.
That's because he's chief metallurgist to the King of Spain.
Oh, so he's learned Spanish since then.
Yes.
Okay.
And all the parts of his name, none of those are Egyptian.
Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez.
If he lived in a country for 100 years and the dude's 2,000 years old, I mean, if you live somewhere for 100 years, you're probably that country's nationality for the time you're there.
Maybe.
So that's what happened. He was Egyptian, but then he moved to Spain and his physical features changed.
I think there's a term that the naturalized, I think they call that.
Ooh.
Okay.
I don't think naturalization happens like that.
So I
think that's a term for like citizenship or something.
I got a question here. So like, how do they? So they're immortal, right? But then they just stay that same age. But how come Lambert's 30-year-old dude, Sean Connery's a 60-year-old dude? Like when? What
It depends on when they're killed.
Well, see, this is
when they're killed the first time. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get into the expanded universe.
Yeah,
we'll call it.
because there's there's. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Well, in the TV show, there's one episode where it's a child immortal, and he's going through because he uses his vulnerability, like, "Oh, I'm a kid, I'm vulnerable, take me in," and then he lops the immortal's head off.
Oh, I missed this one. Mike said the Highland is a treasure, which it very much is, but his response to this is plot armor. That's what it is.
Yes, of course.
Yep,
The plot armor.
that's what I mean. This is something they retconned in later on, but it's supposed to be once you've been killed, you've triggered the effect.
Yeah.
See, that makes sense. I can get behind that.
Yeah,
It's like you don't know when your mutant ability is going to unlock.
exactly.
Yeah.
This was
Yeah,
before.
That's when you get your first talent point.
No,
Yeah,
X-Men was
exactly.
around longer.
2000 it came out.
The comic books, dude.
Not the we're talking movies.
That doesn't
dude.
matter. The concept.
This
I'm
could
talking
be the first
concept.
comic book movie, other than the crappy ones that came before.
There was one more part that made me be like, that's kind of a little silly, and that's when and don't get me wrong, this isn't me bashing the movie. I like the movie, but it's when McLeod, and I forget her name, the main girl in the movie.
Oh,
They're in his room there with all the antiques from all over the years, and he's like, I'm immortal, and then she stabs him, or I think he stabbed himself, I can't remember, but then like he gets stabbed and they literally go to making out and start having sex right after. Like, man, that's a crazy segue. Like
foreplay.
stabbing to a different type of stabbing, if you know what I'm saying.
Foreplay.
Dude, this podcast, there is no kink shaming.
Mhm.
All right. So,
You like to be poked once
ain't
in a
no
while?
problem.
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah, I could barely get off to it.
Chris Lambier likes a little poking before the poking.
Mhm.
That's
He's like,
That's
you
his
poke
thing.
me, then I poke you. You know,
that's right. See,
Yeah. I've heard of that. All right. But I'm not saying it's my bag.
that was the 1980s version of pegging, basically. So
exactly. See,
The real peg hadn't been discovered yet.
wow, this film,
yeah, it had been unlocked.
this film is such a trendsetter.
Yeah.
They were doing it before everyone else.
See now, okay. One of the things I asked is if you'd watched it with the World War II scene. What did you think of that scene in particular?
I loved it. I love the callbacks. It reminded me of well, I guess technically this movie came before it, but in the Wolverine movie, which was kind of a shitty movie, his origins one, but when he's fighting in World War II and it shows him fighting through all the wars, I thought that was really cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
The one in
X-Men
Highlander
Origins
was great
Wolverine.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that's the name of it. But where it shows it going through time and he's fighting and stuff because he's immortal, basically. I thought that was a really cool concept.
Yes.
Mhm.
Anything with, not that I support Nazi Germany, but World War II fascinates me. So anytime there's anything like that in media, I love it. It's great stuff. So that was great.
I liked it for a couple reasons. Well, but here, Aaron, real quick, said there can be only one. Awesome movie. Oh, he's got another one. He's fast. Oh, the director's cut with the extra scenes is the best way to watch it. Yes,
Absolutely.
because in the
I watched
original theatrical, you had Rachel there, who was his, secretary and stuff, but that's all she was.
Mhm.
This
Oh,
bit,
that's what you're talking about. That was awesome. That they had
Yeah,
a little Easter egg in here.
that piece of backstory. I'm
Yeah.
shocked that it was ever cut originally.
Yeah. Yeah. When I found out about that, like so many years later, I was angry. Like that was a great little subplot
Yeah.
that they kept
And worth the time. Why wouldn't it be there?
Yeah, exactly.
And to me, it's crucial because the idea of a movie is to not waste screen. Okay. And him with this secretary in the theatrical felt kind of wasted. Like that character, why is she even there?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Why did he just give her everything?
Yeah.
Like,
why is she special to know that he's immortal because he's leaving everything to her? Now I get it.
And I thought that part too was great character development for him because it shows him like he's in a war and he's got to take some time here to protect someone else who lost a family, and then he takes her in and you find out it's a secretary and they've been together for 50 years. Like it's a cool concept.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And then, well, okay, 40 years actually, because remember 85.
Right. My math sucks.
It's hard to do that because you're thinking 2023, you know?
Yep.
The other flashback I loved is the French one. Excuse me. The duel.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I thought that one was kind of dumb. Personally.
Well, it's dumb because I don't think it would ever end like that. You know what I mean? The guy wouldn't give up. He would just keep stabbing and stabbing and stabbing. Doesn't matter if he get up and he tried to walk away. He'd keep stabbing.
We've established that's foreplay for Highlander. So
That's why he
True.
walked away.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I'm about to get all over this guy. I better get out of here.
yeah.
Never
It's gonna get
thought
awkward.
of that. I never thought of that. Aaron says, LOL, dumb but awesome.
Yeah.
I love that part. Foreplay.
Well, now I'm starting to like it. Maybe I'll have to
Right? I'm gonna watch it again when you leave.
Oh, jeez.
But I loved how it built up to telling you who he was. Because remember, when the movie first starts, there he is in 1985 watching wrestling. And then all of a sudden, there he is back in 15-something in the Highlands. And they give you nothing to go on.
Yep.
They make you wait and earn it. Which
Yeah.
I thought was great.
I fully respect that because movies nowadays, they spoon feed you all the answers right away. I like that this one, it's intriguing. You want to watch it and find stuff out.
Yep.
Why is he doing this?
That was still a thing in the 80s.
Yep.
Again, going off of our next week's topic, the movie I watched. They don't spoil anything.
Yeah, and they kept throwing him hints too, because when he first meets Ramirez, right, you can see Ramirez has the sword that he has at the beginning.
Yep.
So it's like, well, wait a minute, how do you even get the sword?
You know what's great too is they never specifically point out, like they never show a scene of him after Ramirez is dead holding the sword and being like, I will keep this. And they don't leave it blank. They just know that you're smart enough to figure out, oh, it's his friend. He's taking the sword and he's honoring by keeping the sword. Like,
Yeah, the
like
only scene is where you see his broadsword in the ground where it says McLeod and him walking away holding Ramirez's sword. That's literally it.
yeah, and that's a great way to show it, man. Great way.
Yeah. And
You don't need him making a vow or anything like that. Like we already know
Like-
what's up.
Nowadays, a movie nowadays, they would make a big scene about it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need to do that.
Yep.
You know, that tight in shot, the music getting all dramatic, and then he just looks up at the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love this kind of storytelling. You know?
It is missed. Yeah, they are a lot looser in the story where, you know, it loses some believability, but that's the era is what I'm trying to say there. You know, they try to go for gritty realism and everything now.
Yeah.
And there's something lost.
Well, this brings up the next
The
question.
magic is lost, sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's hints and rumors about a remake.
for years now.
Yeah. We'll start with you, Jeff. What are your thoughts on this being remade today?
So this might kind of contradict what you were just saying, but I almost would kind of like to see it in a same exact concept, but maybe a little bit grittier and a little bit darker, and flesh out the lore a little bit more. And I guess I'd be down for it if they cast the right actors, though.
Yeah.
And they didn't try to Hollywood it and put all this, political messaging in there and all that bullshit. Just make a good movie. Make a good movie. Honor the original one, and I'd be down for it.
Aaron's right.
There can only be one.
No.
Yeah.
Isn't Henry Cavill?
Yes,
doing
he
it on
is.
He's the latest casting.
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, but I'd watch him as fucking.
I'm all in.
Yeah,
I do remember hearing about that.
I don't know.
dude, who could play Connery's character?
Like,
Tough.
who would be Kurgan to him as Connor?
Batista.
Batista's shorter.
No, it doesn't matter.
No, to me it does, because you look at Connor as like Chris McLeod's Connor, he is just a small guy. And you have the Kurgan.
Who could be Kurgan?
This is what I mean. If you get someone like Henry Cavill,
Christian Bale.
yeah, right.
Yeah, although I think Henry Cavill is bigger than him.
He's got the voice.
Yeah.
Give me the sword.
6'3".
John Cena.
Okay. Yeah, dude, no
Yeah.
one can see him.
No, I think that would be an awesome villain turn for Cena. Come on.
Villain turn, dude.
Oh, you know what?
Attention
Now
to
that you mention it, I could see Cena doing it because he's kind of got that crazy, silly quirkiness, and he could really bring Kirk into life.
When you get him into, if you go back to his what broke him out, the ruthless aggression era,
Mm-hmm.
where he just when he's amped up and the veins are popping and like he looks like he's about to have an aneurysm, it can be freaking terrifying.
I could see Cena being.
I
I
saw
would
him,
watch
he
Henry
did a
Cavill
prank
as,
show.
Highlander.
He did a
for sure.
prank show somewhere, and he was just breaking out in the WWF at the time, where some guys were brought in to do an audition for some sort of a movie about like gang violence or something, and they were about to do a scene with this guy Brubaker, and you killed his brother, and he's coming after you. So get ready. Okay, bring in Brubaker, and in walks Cena in full up amped aggression, just gurring and yelling in the guy's face, like how the guy wasn't shitting his pants. I don't know.
Okay. You are right, and I was wrong.
Oh.
Henry Cavill is 6'1". Dave Batista is 6'4".
Okay,
So there's a couple inches.
then I'm sticking with Batista because Batista
I'm
can do
down
no
with
wrong,
John
but
Cena
Cena
doing the
would be
Cranes
an
actually
awesome
really
turn
nice
as well.
guy, but he did bad so well.
That's
Yeah,
so
he
true,
did.
Aaron. Yep.
So,
Clancy Brown's seriously underrated in my opinion. He's a great actor.
do you know what I'm just discovering right now? Jeff has got to come back one more time
Uh-oh.
for the recasting of Highlander.
Didn't we already do that?
No,
Are you sure?
I'm not sure, but I'm saying no.
I will check the archives to make sure.
Yep.
That's
Andy.
But I
Of
don't know
course
if there's
you
10
are.
characters.
It
Well, we'll
depends
figure
on how deep you want to go. Do you want
I'll
to
take a look.
Exactly.
I'll take a look into it. I'll
get the
I'll
first
check the
duel
archives
and-
first, and
Yeah.
and then I'll see what I can come
You
up
got
with.
at
for
least a
list.
couple cops, 2 or 3 women, the 2 main Highlanders, Sean
Ramirez.
Connery. You might be able to just round it out.
Yeah.
We rounded out
It's
with a few
doable.
extras, surprise cameos types.
The Highlander he meets on the bridge.
I feel
Yeah.
like the hardest guy to cast would be Ramirez because you got to find someone who's like charming but older, but
Look Spanish yet Egyptian.
Who,
Right?
who can
Spanish
replace
and
Connor?
Egyptian.
Spanish Egyptian actors.
Daniel Craig.
There we go.
Yeah,
Neeson.
Pierce Brosnan.
Neeson.
Neeson.
Yeah.
Neeson's he's what pushing 75.
He's
now, I think?
slowing down on the action though. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think
He
he's got a
says
face
that,
for
and then another one comes out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's true.
Aaron nailed one of his quotes. Hi, I'm Gandhi. Of course you are. Yes. And that was a cool shot too, because they did the dual focus.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
was a great shot. Mm-hmm.
that was the one thing I did love about this film. Antonio Banderas, or whoever you spell his name.
Oh, as Ramirez? That I could see that. You clever.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. He could tap into a little bit of his Puss in Boots persona.
I've got Kurgan, unless I want to save it for the recasting.
Say you might.
Jason Momoa.
Fuck.
I was thinking that, but I almost thought that'd be too Hollywood because they just got him to play the bad guy in the new Fast movie, and it's like, is that too on the nose? You know what I mean?
Except that in the new Fast movie, he did it in the most flamboyant way imaginable.
And I haven't actually seen it yet, but I heard he does the same thing where he chews up the scenery like he
did a great job. I just didn't expect it to put that kind of flair on the character.
He's 6'4" too.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
And he played a villain in a movie with Stallone before he became Jason Momoa.
Bullet in the head.
Bullet to the head. Yeah.
You can skip that one. with an axe fight.
Yeah.
But according to
I
you,
think
we
that's
can
one I
skip
watched
Highlander.
half of and turned off.
Well,
To the head. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jason Momoa. Is good.
I don't know.
He's got no response.
Yep.
I'll, mm.
Did you ask me a question?
Well, okay. Let me ask you then. What were the things that made you not white like this? What were the things that made you not like this?
It was a lot of the stuff that I'd forgotten about. The cheesy lines, the whole because I'd seen everything else more recently and more frequently than this one. So the whole falling into the water and you don't die in the first place. It's like, no, because it's been pounded into your head so many times with the TV show and the other movies. It's like, yeah, they died, then they come back to life. Not they can breathe underwater all of a sudden. And whatever the beach scene was.
Okay.
Oh, they're running on the beach.
And it's
no to Aquaman is the Kurgan.
it's just it's like an extremely 80s movie.
Well, and see, that's what I'm wondering if you're looking at it as a film coming out then, or you're looking at it now as a film then. Which,
That's my problem.
Because when I saw it for the first time, I'm fairly certain it was in probably mid 90s, or it might have been early to mid 90s.
And you had the same opinion then?
No. I enjoyed it then,
Okay.
but it would have been less than 10 years removed from the movie coming out, so it wouldn't look so much like an 80s movie.
Right. It still looked modern. Okay.
Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you watch that nowadays, that you can only remaster a movie so much, but it's still good.
See, Turtles is another movie I lump in with Jaws that should never be remastered too high.
Yeah.
Because the minute you start getting Blu-ray quality, 4K quality, you're seeing how crappy those suits are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I can't stand watching Jaws on Blu-ray because it looks like a fake shark now.
I can tell it's fake.
Too much detail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I get that, you know. This one, maybe it does need that modern twist now. I know it bugs me that you had the luggage of the TV show weighing down on your viewing of the original.
Yeah.
And 4 other movies. No, 2 TV shows and 4 movies.
The inferior offspring tainted
Well,
your
no.
opinion of the, of the
Highlander
original.
Highlander Endgame kicks the crap out of this one. But
I don't know. I can't remember it all that well. I want to disagree so bad, but I can't.
but they all came from this. So you
Yeah.
got to give it that. But yeah, it's
only saying that because it was the torch passing movie.
that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
He
Like, oh my dude.
No, he's a fan of Duncan. Okay. And just for keeping Jeff up to date, that is the dude who is apparently a cousin of Connor that
Mhm.
runs the TV show.
Yeah.
And he happened to also become an immortal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And in Highlander 4, it's called Endgame.
As they say in
It's-
the TV show, same wine, different vintage?
Right. But
Wait a minute. There's a 4 too and a 3.
No, there's a 5.
There's 5 films.
There's Highlander 2, The Quickening, which I saw before Highlander 1, just because
Oh,
it was the first one I'd heard of
no
when I was a
wonder.
kid.
Yeah, you were just destroyed.
Highlander 3, The Sorcerer, with Billy
Mario Van Peebles.
Mario Van
yes.
Peebles, which was good at the time. I've only ever seen it the one time, and that was back in the 90s. Highlander Endgame, which is awesome. Highlander The Source, which is very forgettable because even though it has Duncan, it has nobody else. And then it has like a character that's like the living embodiment of either the source of where they came from or the Guardian, and he changes accents multiple times, and there's characters you've never seen before.
Well, that's because Highlander the Source continues the canon of Highlander the series.
Oh, I know. Yeah, the Highlander Endgame ignores Highlander 2 and 3 and brings like the original movie and the TV show together. And then the Highlander the Source carries on from that, but there's no characters from previous. So it doesn't carry any TV show characters into that movie or previous movie characters.
There's a lot of Highlander out there.
I see.
For something where there can only be one.
There can be many.
There is a shit ton of
It's
ones.
a second.
Well, and Highlander Endgame is the only one of the
Oh my
well,
god.
movies that doesn't end with someone winning the prize for like the fourth time.
Okay, they have been working on this rebooting Highlander, right?
That's what I said.
Yep. Okay, check this out. They at one point had the Highlander series writer and executive producer David Abramowitz. He was polishing the script, and this is in 2015. Guess who they cast as Kurgan in February of 2015? Dave Bautista.
Oh,
In 2015?
Yes.
Wow.
damn.
Wow.
I thought you were going to say Danny DeVito.
There was also an animated series.
That
I
would be
think.
awesome.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder if it wasn't a going to be a WWE film.
Some of those are really good.
And then Henry Cavill was in talks to have a lead role in the reboot as of May 2021, although his exact character is unknown. And then Aaron said, I actually saw the second movie in theaters back when the Eaton Center in Toronto had a multiplex. I am so sorry, dude. That explains a lot about you.
Man, I got to watch this just to see how shitty it is.
Oh.
Like, I know you're saying I'm going to regret it, but I want to know. Like, now I need to know, you know?
There are films that are so bad they're good, and then there are films that are just so bad.
Ooh,
Period. Hard stop.
fair enough.
One of my biggest pet peeves, not even a pet peeve, just what really grinds my gears is when you make a sequel or a remake or a reboot or something and you shit on the source material.
Hey, no respect.
Highlander 2 shits on the source material. It takes a big steaming dump on it in the first 30 seconds.
Really?
It almost treats it like it didn't exist because of what they did. But again, and I don't fault them, because this is the same reason I've given Kathleen Kennedy a bit of a pass with Star Wars. You know, when she said the books were all legends and we're starting fresh, I was boycotting her forever, and I still do a little bit. But I understand, because when you spend $4 billion in a business, you want to be able to make money. So I understand wanting to turn a franchise and make money in a franchise. But here's a hint. When you want a franchise, don't make the first movie say there can be only one and then do it. Because literally your franchise is dead. Just a thought. Just throwing that out there.
They referenced that in Highlander 3.
Did they?
Yeah, because the Mario Van Peebles kills I think it's Mako, I think the actor, like a samurai master in a cave, and cuts his head off, and the head actually starts to talk. He says, like, there's a prize, but it will never be yours. And the whole quickening happens in the cave under the mountain. So he gets buried. And that's how eventually Connor's able to claim the prize, because he says, you claimed a prize that was never yours.
Okay. See, okay, I get that. But see, then that falls back on whoever they are that gave Connor the prize.
Yeah.
Aaron said the director's cut Renegade version didn't help at all. It helped a bit. It removed every reference of aliens. So to me, that helped a little bit. They should have Batgirled that the minute it was the thing. Yes.
I remember watching it.
Yes, they should.
And that it removed some of the confusion, but no, I don't think it improved the movie any.
No, it did
But
not.
I can't remember what it replaced it with.
Oh, wow. In 2012, director Juan Carlos Fresnedillo signed on to direct. Vinnie Jones and Ray Stevenson were rumored to be considered for the role of the Kurgan.
Ooh.
Oh.
And, oh my God, this would have been amazing. I think Ryan Reynolds was confirmed to play Connor McLeod.
What year was this?
2012.
Okay, well, he wasn't that big a name yet.
Yep. And then in December,
No,
the director left,
Well,
and then Ryan's fouled.
that was just before Deadpool.
Yeah, so he was Van Wilder still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Deadpool was what,
Green Lantern.
17? No, it was 18.
Which one are you talking about?
Deadpool. When did Deadpool come out?
I think it was 18.
Yeah.
16. No, he's not that old.
So
I
just
just
long before
thought of-
Deadpool.
I just thought of who I would want to pick for Kurgan. Now, not necessarily the size of, like, you know, the other guys, but just for the personality and playing someone crazy. Nicolas Cage.
Oh
Oh
my God.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You look at how over the top Clancy Brown went, and then
Oh, yeah.
go through. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
We're spoiling all our picks.
Then
now.
we need Danny DeVito as Connor,
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
because then we got the height. That works. Deadpool 2016.
Oh, I was right. Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
Just
2016.
before.
Damn, 7 years
Deadpool.
ago. Son of a bitch.
So it's actually got to be right around the time they were filming that test footage that leaked.
Maybe, yeah, pretty close. Because that did take a couple years to really develop.
Yeah. Interesting. So overall, you enjoyed watching The Highlander.
Yes, I did. It was a fun experience.
Would you recommend it to others?
Movie buffs, yes. Like people who aren't movie buffs, say like ourselves, like that really analyze and delve deep into movies. Maybe depends on what movies they like. I would say, if they say
Yeah.
like a lot of '80s movies, a lot of that style, absolutely. But like I got a couple people work with, I probably wouldn't recommend go see Highlander sort of thing. But I liked it. I thought it was good. Wasn't my favorite movie, but I liked it. I'll say that much.
Hey, we got one.
Yes.
We got one.
Take that with. So keep in mind, like I realize it all depends on when you watched it the first time. If I would have watched this when I was a young kid, like say 8 or 9, especially back then when the graphics wouldn't have seemed so old, I know I would have loved it. And then I would have carried that feeling for it with me to this point. You know what I'm saying? But since I watched it as a 34-year-old and, I've seen a lot newer movies, it's aged, so my opinion is different than what it would have been back then. And I know I would have liked it even more back then. So hope that makes a little bit of sense sort of thing.
Okay. No,
It does.
it totally does. Because that when you first watch it is a huge part. I know, and I bring this up because I watched You're Next, that horror movie.
Oh, that's so good.
I hated it.
What?
Yeah, when I first
Oh,
watched
this
it,
is the rewatch.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I hated it. And everyone kept saying, "Oh, that's so great. Oh, that's so great." And it's like, what are you guys seeing that I'm not? Like right now, I'm going to try it again because John Wick. Everybody gushes on John Wick, and I watched the first one. And it's like it's an action movie.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to me. But that was the first time I watched it. I went back and rewatched You're Next, and it's like, wow, there is a lot of brilliance in this movie. I don't know why I didn't appreciate it the first time, but I watched it a second time and did.
You know what, Rob? I think that's a good thing, though. That means you're willing to, even though you might have a first impression, you're willing to hear other people's points of view and be like, okay, maybe I'll give it a second chance and see if, and then next time you watch, you actually analyze it a little bit more and look for things to like, and then you can appreciate it a little bit more. That's good. That's a good thing, man. I think it's okay to change your opinion on movies, in my opinion.
But yeah, and that's exactly me. That's to your point. It depends on when you first watch something.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, if you'd watched this back in the day or even in the 90s, it's still considered modern.
Holy shit.
Uh-oh.
No, I was looking to see like what when I may have watched this the first time, because I'm pretty sure I saw it in the early 90s before I had seen any of the TV show, because it's like, oh man, the Queen song opens the show every episode because it opens the movie.
Prince of the Universe.
Yeah, this came out. No, the Highlander TV show started a year after Highlander 2 came out.
Yeah.
So but it was like 6 years after the movie. So if it was, I'm pretty sure it was, I saw it right before I saw the TV show.
Yeah, they're going quick. That sucked. Let's do something to get the rind off of it. So here's my my challenge to you, Jeff, then.
Okay.
Because this was fun talking with someone that had a brand new view on something. I want to throw another 80s movie at you. And if you haven't watched it, I want to have you back on to chat about it.
Shoot. What's the movie?
Let me see. I am going to share my screen. Maybe. Nope, not that one. This one. It's not doing anything. God, I love my computer. Oh, there it is. That's why. Okay. I thought it was going to pop up, but it doesn't. I have to actually insert it into the screen.
The Hidden.
I've heard of that.
Hidden. Okay.
I think I remember seeing previews in the theater for it.
Apparently I'm lagging. That's what's going on.
I heard this. 87 as well.
I don't know
Okay.
anybody who's seen that.
I know I saw it back in the day, but I don't remember anything of it.
I always saw it in the video store.
I saw it like when it first hit home video.
Hey, Calvin McLaughlin's in there.
Yep. I was pitched this movie that a really good friend of mine said, you got to watch this. It's Lethal Weapon meets Aliens.
Really?
Really?
And it's like, well, with that combination, how could I not? And it is really cool.
Yeah. So you're the only one of us five, four, five, one, two,
One,
three,
two,
four,
three, four. Yeah.
who's seen this?
I guess you two
Or
have.
you-
I,
no, you
I,
can't
I'm
remember.
sure I saw it when it first came out. I don't remember any of it.
I only remember seeing the previews and the VHS box.
You haven't seen this, Jeff?
No, this intrigues me because this would be even crazier than Highlander because only you have seen it and none of us either haven't seen or remember it. So it'd be
Is
like
that
3
87
new fresh
machine?
takes on it. Sorry?
Yeah. And even here, it says a cop and an FBI agent race for answers after law-abiding people suddenly become violent criminals.
It's got 7 out of 10.
So, okay.
Well, this will be interesting.
Damn it! I had a thought and I lost it.
Are those some Highlander
So
swords? on
don't
your
worry, that
wall?
happens to me. Actually, no, those are Witcher.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can see the one. Yeah, that's for monster slaying.
Yep, one silver and one steel.
Nice.
Yes, I'm a huge fan of Witcher.
So you must have played The Witcher 3? Tell me you played The Witcher 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal game. Probably one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah, that one,
I've actually played that, and yes, it was great.
Witcher 3,
Yes.
Yes,
It's-
phenomenal.
it's a very adult game,
That's true.
Oh yeah.
you know, and that's the thing I love about it. You know,
Yes, the Game
I
of
get
Thrones.
beat up by a
advanced.
monster, I'm heading to the brothel.
Yeah.
Picks up my spirits, right?
I did catch though, while playing that when the one part with what's the white hair girl's name?
Siri.
Oh, Siri.
When she's jumping dimensions, she popped into Cyberpunk.
Yep.
That was awesome. Same company made that game. So
Yep.
I spotted that and I'm like, oh.
Yep. They talked about that little Easter egg.
Wait,
She
that
even-
happened in The
she-
Witcher, or you see it in Cyberpunk that she's
In Witcher 3,
In Witcher 3.
when there's a brief moment where she's jumping through dimensions. You see different images, and at one point you see Night City from Cyberpunk.
Oh shit! I'm gonna look this up. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
played
and
it.
she even talks about it because she says one of the places she went had people with mechanical things in their head.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna check that out.
I can't remember the exact words, but yeah.
I haven't played
Is that always
Cyberpunk
bad?
yet.
I played Cyberpunk one playthrough when it first came out, when it was still all buggy and shit. I have not gone back since, but I've heard it's like really smooth and really awesome, and they've added some cool stuff. But the fact that they had that connection with Witcher always made me wonder if they weren't at some point going to have some sort of weird DLC mission thing where Siri comes in. Just for like one brief little mission thing, and then she's gone.
They're leaving the doors open.
Yeah.
I'd be down. That'd work for
Okay,
me.
I want to spin this back for just a quick second because we got Jeff's opinion on this.
Okay.
Would you refer this movie to anybody, James?
Well, if they've only seen the TV shows or the sequels, it would be nice it would be nice for them to see how it started. And if they're a fan of Queen.
Well, yeah,
Who's not a fan of Queen?
exactly. But let's say, like someone like Jeff we talked to, where we find out he hasn't watched any of that. Would you refer this to them?
Yeah, but I would warn them that it's a very 80s movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's good
Yeah.
disclaimer. Yep, that's good.
Okay, fair enough.
I do herald the movie, so
And this is why it's beautiful having James on here, because while our opinions don't always align, it's very cool to see why. You know, and it's the saturation of the series and the 80s.
he was tainted.
Yeah,
He was tainted.
Mhm.
yeah, he was gone before he got here. That's,
Yep,
that's
yep.
We couldn't have saved him. But still, I love that film. I always love it.
Yeah.
But see, I love it for the 80s quirks too. You know,
How old were you when you first saw it?
it was early 90s when I saw it, roughly the
So-
same time, because that's what jarred my memory about Hidden, because I saw it around the same time I saw Hidden.
So I was a teenager. 76, 86.
I saw it. I know I saw it for the very first time when it first hit home video.
91,
I did not see it in the theater, but I know I
92.
saw it when it first hit home
Really?
video.
Yeah.
Because I saw it, because like I said, I saw Highlander 2 first because I remember seeing previews on TV for Highlander 2 and thought it looked cool. And then I watched it and I enjoyed it because I had never seen the first Highlander. And then you go back and it's just like, what the fuck was
Yes.
And then that was 91. The show was 92. So I would have seen the original Highlander like 92, 93 or something like that. And then the TV show had already been in full swing.
Yeah.
So I would have been like 16, 17.
That's like
maybe
watching, having watched the Roger Corman version of Fantastic Four, and then seeing what they did give us, which was a decent Fantastic Four, and still thinking that the Roger Corman one was better.
That's a good way of putting it.
Have you watched the Roger Corman one?
No, I've never seen it.
Okay.
I know somebody who tried to get their hands on it way back when, but
it was
never
available
found
for
it.
free for a while.
See, look at here. Aaron saw it on home video as well. That's when I didn't see it in the big screen at first.
Yeah.
no.
You know, I was on, he watched it on beta, which is probably clear. I watched it on VHS, and that was my first experience.
I saw
with it.
Highlander on, I taped that off TV. I think we rented Highlander 2,
Yeah.
I think.
This is why it's cool to have theaters like the Highland and then special screenings where you can bring back these movies to see them on a screen like you should have originally.
Yeah, and there's a screening you might be interested in coming up in November.
Really?
They
Star Wars?
announced it on Friday.
Star Wars?
Nope.
I'm not interested.
Raiders,
I'm interested.
Ooh.
35 millimeter.
I'm interested. Damn it. That's okay.
I
That
think
got me.
it's like November 10th or something.
November.
I'll get the I'll watch for the details and I'll throw it at you.
Okay.
But they announced it officially on Friday when we were there.
Have you guys already done this discussion out of the original three, which you think is the best Indiana Jones movie?
Yeah.
Well, we had that big Indiana Jones discussion already, and it kind of like probably got played out in there.
We
I think we did talk about it the last time I was on, actually. I remember.
a little bit, yeah. And then
Yeah.
we did do a discussion on all five.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Where the consensus, not him, it came down to 3 and 1 as the best, not 2.
Not 2, no. And not 4.
4. Maybe it was a
Not
consensus.
It was, our numbers weren't far off.
No, we weren't far off. There was some pretty strong feelings there.
It was I think it was Temple of Doom and Dial of whatever it's called.
Destiny.
We're kind of
Dial of
swapping
Destiny.
dial of boredom. Dial of,
See? Okay, that's where the difference was because I liked it. It's my number 3.
it wasn't bad, but spinning off a franchise, basing it on a horrible character.
Which horrible character?
Oh, the niece. The
Oh,
niece
that.
who tries
Okay,
to
yeah.
get her uncle killed and arrested,
Yep.
and she's supposed to be the good guy.
What's your order for the 5, Jeff?
Well, I haven't even seen Dial of Destiny yet, based on what you're saying, because I agree with a lot of that. Where just by on the previews, it looks like it's all feminine power and blah 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 blah, and this person's taking over the role, and Kathleen Kennedy to hell, basically. But out of the 4, I would definitely say Crystal Skull's definitely number 4.
Yeah.
Really tough toss up though between Temple of Doom and Crusade for me. For a number one
Toss up,
spot.
really?
Yeah, because I actually really like Temple of Doom because it's dark. Like it goes very dark.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look, George Lucas was going through a dark time when he wrote that, and they didn't hold anything back. They're like, let's just throw it all in there and go, those freaking voodoo dolls and stuff. And but then I really like the first one too because it's the original. It's the one that made everything. So it's really hard for me to pick what I like out of those 3.
Yeah.
I think they're all equal to me, to be honest with you. I
That's
like them all in their own way. But I hate how
Exactly.
Crusade, although I love it at the same time, they bring back the Nazis, which is what they did in the first one. It's no different than in Return of the Jedi. They bring back the Death Star like they did in A New Hope. But it works. Like it's really cool in Crusade. So I love to hate it sort of thing. I know I'm not really giving you a clear answer, but it's really hard for me to pick out of those.
no, because it's literally what they did in Dial of Destiny for the opening. They brought back the Nazis.
Oh yeah. See, that's
You know,
They also brought back the dead.
So I would give props to Crystal Skull because at least they switched it up and they chose the Russians. That's one thing I'll give them
I'm
props.
pretty sure Kate Blanchett played a Nazi, didn't she?
They were Russians in
Russian
Crystal Skull.
Nazis. Does that count?
Russian Nazis?
I think those guys were enemies. If I'm
I'm quite sure they were. Yes.
not at first, but then when you go invade Russia.
Yeah. Stab me in the back. That's it for you.
No, I'm almost positive they were Russian. Kate Blanchett.
It's been
plays
so long.
Oh, in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
She was, for sure.
Yeah. I don't think there's any Nazis in that. You tell me
No.
they did Nazis for 4 Indiana Jones movies? No.
No.
No, there's no Nazis in Temple of Doom, was there?
No.
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 That's what I mean.
This-
There's only 3.
It's pre-Nazis.
I know, but
And-
you were making the joke the Crystal Skull had Nazis.
Oh yeah.
But see, in Dial of Destiny, it's actually really cool because it's an opening going back to the 40s. So it's a young Indy again,
Mhm.
which is wicked to see.
It looked good.
And
Yep.
then that character comes back up in 69 when the movie takes place.
Okay.
So it is setting up the story as
Head
well,
do-
reattached.
I do plan on watching it at some point. I just haven't yet.
theoretically. I'm going to rewatch it once it's digital because there's a thing going out where this is the commercials you've seen with the train, right?
Yep.
At one point, Mads Mikkelsen's character pops up, and then supposedly this thing comes along which would decapitate a human.
Anybody.
But I want to rewatch it because in my head he got knocked off, but I don't know if I'm putting it in there or if that's what happened.
If you can somehow bring up the clip off air.
Well, because legit, so many times with movies, if they're done right, you have stuff in your head you never saw on camera
Yep.
that
Is
you
it would they say
believe.
is that the Mandela
It
effect?
is part of the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because with me, I can't remember the guy's name that owned Gideon's Pawn Shop in The Crow.
John Polito.
Yes, there we go.
He's in Highlander.
Yeah, he is too. Much younger. I swear to God, I saw Brandon Lee shove a knife into his hand when he was doing the whole speech.
Doesn't he?
No, you don't see it. He does the
He does
action,
it, but he doesn't. You don't see
you
it.
don't see it. It's not on camera.
You might
Oh.
put it together for you.
But in here it is. And that's what I mean. I don't know if I wanted to see Mads knocked off or if that's what he actually. So I'm gonna.
I saw his head come.
I feel like I saw him get knocked off.
Well, like I said, we'll find out for sure once it's digital. I think
But
it's coming up
I'll
very
be
soon.
completely honest with you. I don't care.
Well, there is that. too.
Outside of just not trying to prove James wrong, I don't care.
It's good to have a goal.
Exactly.
Honesty is key.
Awesome. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for coming on and chatting Highlander because
Hey, thanks for having me.
this was cool
It's a classic.
to have not only the discussion but someone that's watched it raw.
Yes.
You know.
Fresh eyes,
Mhm.
fresh perspective. Yes.
So yeah,
And I had no outside opinions before I watched it either. It was like I was a virgin before watching it. So
I might see if we can't come up with like 3 or 4 more titles to fire at you and have you back once a month or so and just chat
Why not?
because this is
I'm
fun.
in. Yep. Awesome. Sweet.
So
I'm
the
in.
Next one we'll do is the hidden
Okay.
Oh, sure.
because now I
Cool.
want to rewatch it. Dang, I forgot about
All right.
that film.
I'll find it.
I'm
And
excited that I'm not the only one watching it for the first time.
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah, it's. I'm gonna consider it a first watch because I don't remember anything from it.
I know I haven't seen it.
and then depending on how that one goes, I have one other one kind of related to the same circle, but we'll
Oh, cool.
Okay.
one step at a time.
You know, we also have our topic next week that's probably gonna throw some ideas too.
Well, I was just looking at the calendar. Actually, it's gonna have to be the week after
Oh, okay.
because next
right.
week is Tuesday, the 26th.
Oh, yes.
The GME.
Jimmy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Which yeah, dance classes.
don't you do
starting.
no, dude. You're
Dude,
never gonna dance, man. Give it
You've
up.
you already put a ring on it.
Yes.
You don't need to.
What are
be,
you fighting so hard for
Exactly. She landed you.
Yeah,
What the
so
hell?
I can't.
I see what's going on here.
now? Right?
Damn.
You like dancing, don't you? Not that I'm.
How about no?
I love how when you play those, it takes over the whole screen and nobody can say anything.
Yeah, right. Shuts down the
Yeah, screw
conversation.
'em all, yeah. I need to start doing that in our show.
Then there's the quick ones too. Yep. Awesome. Jeff, thank you again. Like I said, we'll figure out a day to get you back on for the hidden.
Sounds good, man.
And so next week at the GME, and then the week after will be our 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our topic. Just because I know we've been referencing and Jeff's probably going, I don't got a clue. We're grabbing one movie from the 70s, one movie from the 80s, and one from the 90s that we think,
You guys
somewhere
are all picking your own, and then
We're each watching our own, and then we're going to give our opinions and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whether it holds up, deserves a remake.
Yeah.
There was another.
Or it's just not good.
Yeah.
All right,
It's not what you
90s is-
remember.
I'm
Did
just gonna
not
go ahead
age
and
well.
Say your answer
Doesn't age
for all
well.
the 90s ones, which would be Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Best 90s movie, in my opinion. Best
Could very well
best
be.
movies ever. Yeah, that's just me.
I've already got my 90s movie a fresh watch. I've got my 80s movie a fresh watch. My 70s movie is what I'm working on next. So
Fresh watch or like because
rewatches, but it's been a while.
Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to think, what do I know in the 70s that I really like?
A New Hope.
70s is my hardest era.
Star
Really?
Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
But it's an answer everyone would say.
No,
Right? It's a safe
I-
answer.
Yeah.
I've watched that. Like
Yeah. No,
I'm trying to get something I haven't watched in a long time.
Maybe if you found the holiday special.
No, I've got a couple options. I'm just trying to decide between them.
okay. Fair enough. All right. We've dragged this on long enough, Jeff.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Bye, everybody.
All right. I guess that's it. We'll see everybody later.
Toodles.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
You bet.
Shut up! It's a man!